Welcome, Gemini and Gemini cross watchers, to your monthly love reading for February 2023. So hope you guys are having a great week, and thanks for stopping by my channel. For those of you, Two of Cups for your person. So for those of you that are new, I have longer reads that come out. Whoa. Sorry. So longer reads that come out on Thursdays, and then mini weekly love reads that come out every Sunday. So we're going to go into what you and your person are thinking. Holy cow. What is going on? Sorry. What the two of you are thinking and feeling about each other and the relationship. And then what each of you can expect from the other person. And of course, we'll pull clarifiers if we need. So we're just going to get one more card from the big deck here for the relationship situation. So, like, I don't know what's going on with your person, but I want to say, like, holy cow. They have the Tower and the Death card, which is, like, sweeping change, and it's coming in hot. Sorry about that, Gemini. So, we have the Four of Pentacles here as the situation between you, which of course talks about holding back. So, I mean, it actually feels like this person is the one that's holding back from you. It almost feels like they're holding back, I want to say like there's some resentment, but it's not towards you. It's almost like, for example, maybe this person was taught some really poor like coping mechanisms, and there's some resentment there because they feel like if it's almost like if they had had a leg up, if they had had things a little bit easier, then it's like they would be ready now. I'm just not so sure what's going on with them. It almost feels like they obviously have real feelings for you, but it's like they might feel like they're toxic for you. I feel like you're kind of on the hunt for you have the Ten of Pentacles over here, is what you're thinking about this person and the situation. So I feel like to a certain extent, you certainly see a lot with them. And it does feel like you do have some hope in the situation. It just feels like it's almost like there's a brick wall here. Hold on for a second. It feels like you actually might see that there's quite a few obstacles here. It feels like there's not that this person wants you to jump through hoops. It just feels like there's a lot of like issues that need to be addressed. You know what I mean? I feel like it does feel a little bit in your headspace anyway, almost like the odds are stacked against you here. I feel like you may be... It does feel to a certain extent that you are feeling really alone. And there's a difference between feeling alone and lonely, right? And it just feels like whatever battle you're fighting right now, it feels like you're fighting it on your own. And I feel, Gemini, that to a certain extent, I say to a certain extent, but it feels pretty strong. I feel like you're actually holding back from this person as well. You know what it feels like? May not be the actual situation, right? But the energetics of it is. The reading here. I keep saying this because it feels like the two of you find the love of each other's lives in each other, but both of your lives are so like almost like up in the air, or it's like you both have so much going on that I feel like neither of you is in a place right now where you can invest in the other person. You know what I mean? And so the reason I was stumbling there is, I'm not the person that decides who the love of your life is. That's your decision, right? So when I'm saying things like that, it's the energetics of the situation. It's like two people that like, oh, I would really love to have that person in my life. But you both have so much going on. And I feel like to a certain extent, it's like you may have things that are going on in your life that have made you feel almost like you kind of have to stand alone. And I feel like to a certain extent, it's like this person's issue is that people won't fuck up. I I said the wrong word, quiet. Sorry. Is that they won't like these people won't stop talking. They won't stop coming in, and it's like people just want to chat to this person about nothing. And I feel like whatever kind of space, what it feels like from this person is it's like whatever kind of space they're making in their life, other people that they don't want filling the space keeps coming in and filling the space. And they're like, no, I'm not making that space for you. You know what I mean? It's like, they may not know exactly what they want in that space, but they know what they don't want. And I'm pointing at like the other person, not you here. Not the third party kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I feel like this person, it's like, it's almost like they can't quite bring them in their heart space. I feel like they're having a hard time almost kind of like sorting through something here. It's like it's almost like they get into this energy where they have all these sweet feelings for you, and then when they're in those sweet feelings, it's like there come the overthinking Olympics. You know what I mean? And they're standing there like Michael Phelps with all those awards. Sorry, I'm just being smart aleck. But anyway, it just feels like when this person gets into this headspace of love, it's like there's all of this narrative that comes along with love, right? It's like maybe this person was taught. So listen, this may not be the actual situation. It's the energetics of it, but it's like maybe this person was taught from a young age that love is not supposed to feel the way it should feel. You know what I'm saying? That it's like, that they're supposed to, like every relationship, you take the good with the bad, right? But I feel like this person's, it's like even the good that they experienced in love wasn't really good. You know what I mean? It was kind of tainted with this experience of, it's like somebody might have thrown them a bone once in a while and they were expected to be overjoyed, and you know what I mean? So it's like this person has been breadcrumbed by, again, energetics of the situation, but it's like they've been breadcrumbed by everybody, and I feel like that's actually put them into a place where they accept so little, or maybe in the past they did, but it's like they accepted so little and to allow people into their lives. It's like I feel like they may have let people in their lives that were really inconsistent, or it's like the people would come around once or twice a year, and it's like they'd come in, they'd have it doesn't mean that they would have a tryst or whatever, but it's like that those people would come in. It's almost like they would kind of just touch base with your person here. I feels like it's an energy where it's like these people have no intention of like actually being part of a support system for this person, and vice versa. It's more that they kind of want to come in and because your person is so easygoing, or was, something's changing here, but because they were so easygoing, I feel like people may have wanted to keep circling back around. And what's unfortunate is that I actually feel that somebody that was kind of on this person's wavelength was not the greatest. And it's almost like they're afraid of moving towards you because I feel like they seem to think that it's like that they're going to pull the same shiz with you. You know what I mean? It's like they don't want to come in and, for example, it's like they've been treated like garbage their whole life. You know, maybe the energetics of the situation, but it's like they've been treated like garbage, and I feel like it's been such a pattern for them that they're afraid that they'll come in and do the same thing to you. That doesn't mean that you're going to let them, right? Or that you would let them in any case, but they seem to feel like they're poisoned somehow. I almost want to say that it's like, it's a too good to be true sort of energy, but it's not quite that. It's more like this person's looking at you, wondering if, it's like they seem to need to figure something out. It almost feels like they are wondering if they're going to burn you, because that's not what they want to do. They don't want to drag somebody into the pit with them. But I feel like to a certain extent, it's like they can't kind of pull their energy away from you because they really don't want to. So we have the Hermit energy as what's in your heart space and what you're thinking. I mean, obviously you're feeling pretty alone. It does feel to a certain extent that you may be feeling like this person, it doesn't feel like they actually did this, but it's that's the kind of feeling it's given you. It's almost like maybe one day they love you, the next day they're ignoring you, then the next day they love you again, and it's like, and then the next day they're asking you to go somewhere, and then you're about to go, and then they cancel, and it doesn't feel like that's necessarily what's happened. It maybe, it may not. It feels more that it's like, when you start to kind of put faith in the situation, or you start to lean on it, it feels like they're pulling the rug out from underneath you. But I feel like the reason there's this ambiguity coming from you is actually because it seems like there's valid reasons, and not valid reasons because you're lying to yourself or whatever, because sometimes, you know, that's what we do when we're excusing someone's behavior. But I feel like they're legit reasons. And it's almost like, in the way that this person feels like they're poison, it's like maybe they don't feel they are poison. I feel like they're so burdened. They have so much going on in their life that they almost feel that it's like it's not fair to involve somebody else because they feel like they can't treat that person well. And it's unfortunate because they really do see, it's kind of like they wish it could be different. And I feel like to a certain extent they're not telling you what's going on in their life. They're just kind of coming at you with this, I mean, I certainly hope that it's not, but with this inconsistent energy. And that inconsistent energy is translating into you kind of, it's like, you know that the energy is there, you can feel it, you know, you're not stupid, you know. But I feel like you are, it's like there's something, I'm obviously not tapping into it well, I apologize, but it's like there's something here that's made you really defensive. And what's interesting is that it's like I feel like you actually may not be presenting that defensive energy to this person. It's like maybe you're a little bit more cool with them than you are normally. But it actually feels like because you, hold on for a second, you seem to really identify with this person. I feel like there's something, it's almost like maybe you haven't lived the life that they've lived, and you're not facing what they're facing. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. It just feels like you know what it feels like. You know, maybe you don't know all of the, you know, gory details, but you know what it feels like to feel how they feel. And I feel like because of that, you're wanting to kind of give this person a chance, but you definitely have your guard up because, so this person, I mean, with the Two of Cups, they're obviously crazy about you. I think we're just gonna pull a couple clarifiers here. We're gonna clarify for the Tower. Okay. This person isn't, this person isn't paying attention to some signs. I feel like to a certain extent they're using the relationship with you so that they can ignore something that's going on in their life. And it's almost like they just kind of want to live in this dream world with you. And unfortunately, it's like on their way to avoid having to, like, things falling apart, they're making things fall apart because they're not dealing with stuff. And I feel like they know that. And it's almost like they just kind of want to enjoy, I must want to say, like, one last meal with you before they go and deal with whatever this is. It's almost this energy of them wanting to at least, for example, if the two of you completely split up, if you're not already, it's almost like they feel that they need to know that it's like at least someone could have loved them, that they could have had it, right? But it's like, but their life was a bit different. It just feels like there's something that they're not facing. There's something that they have to turn around and kind of, like, I almost want to say cut out. And I feel like actually they may not, it's like they feel that change is coming, but I want to say I feel like they actually might not know what it is just yet. What it's like, if it's an element of themselves that needs to be pulled out root and stem, they may not know exactly what it is, but they know that something's coming up. It's like they know that there's this transformation on its way. And they seem to feel that it's like this situation with you, part of them wants to use it to escape that, right? And not that they're using you to escape from anything. It's just they'd much rather be with you enjoying themselves than dealing with whatever shitstorm is waiting for them, right? They also seem to feel that whatever this situation is, that they can't save it. For example, if this person, and this obviously isn't going to resonate with everybody, right? But it's like if this person has some sort of influence on like a company or a stock market or something like that, but it's like, but they know that it's circling the drain. And they almost kind of want to just let it fall because they don't want to be tied to it anymore. It just, like, it's become more of a burden than anything. Let me get one more for the tower here. Jeez. 2 2s reversed. So the Two of Wands usually talks about, that energy of once you've grabbed onto that Ace of Wands, that new beginning, now you're going to start putting things into motion, right? And that's obviously not what they're doing. The cards have been talking about that. I actually feel that this person may have made some decisions. And it's almost like the reason they're not turning around to fix this is because they know that they're the reason that it fell apart. It's like maybe it was going to fall apart anyway, but the reason that it's not fixable is because they made certain choices. They made their priorities. It's like, I want to say from their perspective, they know that they're at fault. And what's really interesting is I'm not so sure they are. I actually feel like there are other things at play that have affected this, but it's almost like it's easier for them to assume that it's their fault than it is for them to look at the situation and feel like something's been taken from them. So then we have the Death card, the Scorpio card, right? Can we have a clarifier for this? Holy crap. Look at this. The Two of Cups with the Death card. Hold on for a second here. it's like either they might come clean to you about something. It doesn't feel like this person's going to get like clingy or anything. It just feels like they're going to feel like they have this, some sort of like new beginning. It could be a new beginning with you. But it's like they seem to, hold on for a second. It's like they seem to have this kind of like, oh wow, something might, it's not even that. I feel like they actually have a new beginning here. And it seems to be that whatever that new beginning is, it almost kind of seems to give them a lot of hope for the connection between the two of you. You know what I mean? It's like maybe you know, the company that they work for is falling apart. But it's almost like, well, they've heard about an opportunity elsewhere, or maybe a headhunter has called them and offered them a position, or like there's something, it's like there's this little sprout. It's almost like if, and I'm not saying this to be insensitive to anybody because I know that there's a lot going on in the world. It's just to illustrate the energy. So it's almost like, you know, so a forest has burnt down. But there is this kind of sprout coming up, and it's coming up because it wasn't fully formed when everything got flattened. So it still had its root system. It was still on its way up. It was still kind of coming, and now it's here. And it's like this person kind of seems to feel it's like it's almost like it's a sign to them. It's a message that they're going to keep going. They're going to be able to rebuild, that it's like it's not over, right? It's not over till it's over. Can we get card on that Two of Cups? See, here's the problem. Like, don't do this. I feel like this person, it's like they see this opportunity, and I feel like to a certain extent they're not putting the work into it. So like, what are you doing? I don't understand. It's almost like they feel that this opportunity is just going to bring itself to fruition, right? I feel like it feels a little bit like this person's new opportunity. They seem to feel that it's just going to sit there and kind of like grow into this gorgeous tree or this gorgeous flower without them watering it. And I feel like to a certain extent they might be neglecting it. I want to say for some, like, is that bit of hope you? Is that new beginning? And it could be with the career, right? But it's like, I feel for some of you, hold on for a second. It doesn't feel like it's you. It could be that this person's going through some sort of financial thing that they are not telling you about. We have the Six of Pentacles with the Page of Cups. They seem to feel that there's something actually about finances that you wouldn't understand. I feel like they are underestimating you, for sure. And I also feel that they are, it feels like whatever issue they're having, they seem to see it as an issue that's going to be solved before things get any further with you. Does that make sense? It's not making a whole lot of sense to me, so. Hold on for a second. If you're involved with anybody else, not that you're stepping outside of anything, but it's like if the two of you are casually dating and this person finds out that you're entertaining other people, they're going to be brokenhearted. Absolutely brokenhearted. And that's not to, put any pressure on you or anything like that, because it's not the message. It just feels like if this person was to find out that, you're seeing somebody else, I actually feel like they would, hold on for a second. They'll lose that, like that, the way that they look at you with kind of stars in their eyes, they'll lose that. They may not, cut you off entirely. Look at this, the tower again. They may not cut you off entirely, but I feel like they'll look at you as the same as everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's just more of the same. They'll know that you're not, but they'll still feel that way. And that, I want to be clear, that's not to say that you've done anything wrong, right? If you're not exclusive with someone, and, number one, it's not for me to judge. Number two, if you're not exclusive with somebody and there hasn't been that conversation and there isn't that expectation, then, like, you know what I mean? Of course they can feel however they feel, but hold on for a second. Oh, okay. Before I hop up on this soapbox, which one is the one that is seeing other people? Is it them or is it you? This is Tower again. Jeez. Gemini. This person has a lot. They got a lot on their plate. They have a lot going on up in their head. And I'm going to be straight with you here. Of course, judge for yourself. Make your own decisions, because this is your life, right? And you're going to be living with the outcome and consequences, good or bad, of your decisions. What I'm seeing here, they got a lot of toxicity going on. And I actually feel that it's almost like their energy seems to be spread really thin, in the way that it's like they just keep kind of, it's almost like their energy fills a room, but not for a good reason. It's more because they're just, everything's spilling out everywhere. You know what I mean? It's like they kind of need to pull their energy in, and because I just feel like I'm sorry to say, but this person's assumption that their toxicity is going to burn you might be correct. They might be right. And maybe you've already experienced a little bit of that. But with the Tower here twice on their side, and the Tower being clarified with the Devil, this person might be a whole lot of bad news for you. I'd love to give you, a different message here, but we have one more card on this person's side. Four of Pentacles. Look at this. I actually was thinking to myself, like, oh, I wonder. Okay. So one more card for this person. We have the Four of Pentacles. It does feel like you will be able to see, not that this person's kind of running a game on you, but I feel like you are going to be able to see what's going on. You are going to feel them holding back. And it's actually like take this for what it's worth, okay? It feels like they're doing you a favor. And not, oh, somebody's, screwed you over, you're going to take it as I'm doing you a favor. I actually feel like they're consciously doing that as a favor to you, because I feel like it's almost that energy of this person saying like, no, you don't belong here. In an energy of like, no, the side of like the world that this person lives in, they see it as something that will, it's like it'll taint you somehow. It will destroy who you are. It's almost like, and not that wherever they are is necessarily good, but it's like if they've been raised in it, if they've been living in it, it may, they may have some self-sabotaging behaviors here, but it's not going to destroy them. Whereas I feel like because you've lived a different kind of life, getting involved in that kind of thing, it will destroy who you are, or at least that's what they're seeing it as. So, can we get some advice here? And I'll wrap up the reading. Queen of Swords. Interesting. I'll come to the bottom of the deck. Queen of Swords reversed. So the Queen of Swords usually talks about somebody that's very, it's like they're going to get to the truth. If somebody tries to, do some fancy footwork or, I guess you could say like muck about, filibuster, you know what I mean? It's like they just kind of want to say anything to avoid actually answering the question. The Queen of Swords is like, they're not putting up with that. They're just going to cut through all of the shiz. And what's interesting is that it's reversed here as the advice. I'm kind of getting a little bit of that, like this person's going to tell on themselves if you just let them talk. Oh yeah, they are. Yeah. Because it's almost the energy of like, this person might think that they might be one of those people that thinks that they're a lot more clever than they are. You know what I mean? It's like, this may not be what they actually do, but it's the energetics of somebody that it's like, they're going to step on your foot in the dark, and then they're going to talk about, that's not a good analogy. This is the kind of person that's going to do something and then talk about doing that thing in a way that they think they're pulling the wool over your eyes, but actually they're telling you exactly what they've done. You know what I'm saying? I hope that comes in clear. Sometimes I'm not so sure that I'm explaining things well. And I feel like to a certain extent, this might be a situation that you have a hard time letting go of. And that's not to say that like, oh, you're going to stick around if this person's mistreating you. I actually feel that what is heartbreaking for you is that that actually that this person could live a very different life. It's almost like they're actively choosing to stay in the tower. So we have the Five of Pentacles reversed. Oh, sorry, I was asking for a clarifier on the Queen of Swords here. Okay, so that's actually really uplifting in a relatively tricky read. I actually feel that you allowing this person to tell on themselves, you're going to start to see all sorts of shiz about this person that actually makes it really easy to let them go. It's like if you allow them to tell on themselves here, any of that energy of feeling like, oh, I'm so sad this is over, I'm so sad this and that, it's like they're going to talk so much shiz that at the end of it, you're just going to be glad they're gone. You won't feel like you're left out in the cold. You won't feel like you have to cut to the chase. It's like all the pieces are gonna be together. Maybe there might be a couple missing, but you'll be in a place where you don't need those pieces to know what needs to be done. So I think I'll leave it there, Gemini. If this reading resonated, I hope that it was helpful and brought you some clarity. If you'd like a private reading with me, my email's below in the description box, and we will see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.